Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be showing you my DCEU Blu-ray collection. So this is going to include my Blu-ray movies and also a few 4K titles that I have from the DC Extended Universe, and I'm really excited to show you all of these. I have almost all of the films. There are only a few that I do not have, which you will notice are missing from the collection, but hopefully I'll be able to complete my collection of these films eventually. But let's get straight into it here with the first film. Alright, so we have the first title here in the collection, and that is Man of Steel right here on Blu-ray. Now this includes, of course, the Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy. Now I haven't opened this yet. You'll actually notice I haven't opened most of these titles, but I have seen these films, and I really enjoyed Man of Steel. I thought it was a really great film. I really enjoyed it. Henry Cavill's performance was fantastic. Michael Shannon as well as Zod was really great, and I actually kind of liked the decision at the end of the film. Of course, spoilers here. You've probably seen Man of Steel most likely, but I actually don't mind Superman snapping Zod's neck. I just feel like he kind of had to end it. There was really no redemption for that character. But yeah, just a really great release here. I'm really glad that I was able to get the original slipcover release here, and I'm pretty sure I originally got it for like $10 at Walmart, so that was just a really fantastic deal. And there is Man of Steel. Alright, now we have Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition, one of the longest titles I've read, and this one includes the Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy, and this one cost $11.89, so that was a really fantastic deal. You can see the spine right there, and I actually enjoyed this film. I thought that it was a good time. I do like the Ultimate Edition as well. I thought it added some fairly necessary parts to the film, and I just have a really good time with this one. I love the performances of everybody. Ben Affleck does a fantastic job as Batman in his debut. Henry Cavill still does a great job as Superman, I feel. I think Gal Gadot, of course, is fantastic as Wonder Woman, even though she has more limited screen time. My biggest complaint about the film is probably Jesse Eisenberg. Nothing against him personally. I think he's a great actor, but I just don't think his role for Lex Luthor was right, or just the way that he was directed to act. I just didn't feel like it really worked too well, but I think that overall it was still a good film with some really great fights in it, and I really enjoyed the final battle. I was attached enough to Henry Cavill's Superman to kind of be like distraught when he actually, like, spoilers here, but when he gets killed by Doomsday, so I felt that I had that connection with the character, but it might have been a little bit too soon to do that, but still, overall, as the film is, I enjoyed it. Alright, now we've got Suicide Squad, the extended cut right here, and this one includes the Blu-ray, DVD, and digital once again, and on the side here you can see the spine. I actually really like the design of the slipcover for this film. It's probably the best part of the film, I would have to say. On the first watch of Suicide Squad, when I initially saw it in theaters, I actually enjoyed the film quite a bit, but then looking back on it and once I had rewatched it, I didn't enjoy it as much. I thought that some of the performances were really great. I thought Will Smith did a good job. I thought Margot Robbie was really good as well, and the overall cast is still fine. I thought they did an alright job. Jared Leto, of course, doesn't really get too much time in the film as the Joker, which was a little disappointing, but still, overall, I thought it was an alright film. Nothing fantastic, of course, but something that you can kind of turn your brain off and enjoy as just a sort of anti-superhero film. So there is Suicide Squad. Alright, now we've got Wonder Woman here, probably the best DCEU movie, I would say. I think that it's the one that definitely knew what it wanted to do with the film. I feel like a lot of these don't really know what they want to be. I feel like the tones are always kind of shifting throughout them, but I felt like Wonder Woman really had it down, and I think that they did a fantastic job. Gal Gadot is great, of course, in the film. I really love this cover here. It looks fantastic. You can see the spine right there, then on the back, Chris Pine, of course. Patty Jenkins does a great job directing this film as well. I think it was just really well done, and just a great, like, origin story for Wonder Woman. I'm really excited for Wonder Woman 1984 when we eventually get that in theaters, so hopefully that'll wind up being a great follow-up to this film. I would say my weakest part of the film is probably the final fight, but I don't really think that it ruins the film entirely, so overall, a great film. Okay, now we've got Justice League right here. Of course, the film that everybody was campaigning for the Snyder cut of, and now we actually are receiving that Snyder cut, so it's kind of like a celebration here for really big fans of this film, or at least fans of Zack Snyder who want to see them fix this film, and hopefully that winds up going well, and hopefully they release a Blu-ray for it, or 4K. I know it's initially going to be an exclusive to HBO Max, but hopefully eventually we'll get a physical release for it, because I'll want to add that to my collection. But here we have the initial cut for Justice League here, the original one, or at least maybe not even the original, I suppose that could be considered Zack Snyder's cut, but the Joss Whedon version here. And this cover looks really nice. It's definitely got a more simplistic background, but I kind of like that look because then the characters really pop. And then on the back here you can see the characters featured, once again the special features that are listed. And an interesting thing with this one is that if you actually pop off the slipcover, you can see that there is actually an alternate cover underneath as well, which looks really nice. I like that design as well. And then on the back, similar design on here. But overall, I enjoyed Justice League for what it was. I thought it was a fine film. It's definitely not something like that. I hate comparing it to the MCU, but it's not something like that, I feel. But I don't think it has to be, but I feel like it could have been better. So hopefully the Snyder cut does improve upon that and give us more in-depth like character pieces on each of them, because I didn't exactly feel attached to some of them, such as Cyborg, even the Flash, who I really love from like the TV show, but of course this is a different version that you kind of have to get used to. Aquaman as well, he was fine. Of course he had his tiny introduction in Batman v Superman, but in this film he's obviously a much larger part, and I think Jason Momoa does a great job. And then Superman, Henry Cavill does a good job as well in his return in this film, even though it isn't like the way that I think most fans would have pictured it. I thought it was still fine. So overall, an alright film once again. Alright, now we've got Justice League. Once again, this is the 4K version here. This is the initial one that I picked up, and then I actually picked up the Blu-ray separately. I actually kind of forget why I picked up both of the copies. It's been so long, but I'm fine with owning two versions of it because at least they have really cool alternate covers, and I really like this cover for the 4K. I would say it's my favorite one. I think it looks great showing all the characters there. Of course, you've got to have Wonder Woman right in the center there, definitely. In my opinion, at least the best character from this film, or at least from the DCEU like franchise. From what I've seen, I think that she's definitely the one with the most consistent character, I would say. And then if we look on the back here, you can see similar back cover to the Blu-ray as well. But I've already kind of said my thoughts on this film, but I'm excited for the Snyder cut, and I think this film does look really good in 4K, so a great release. Alright, now we've got Aquaman right here, and this one is the Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copy here. Now this slipcover has actually a really cool texture to it, where it's a very matte finish, and I kind of like that. It's a pretty cool texture that it gives it. Almost a sort of scaly texture, similar to what I would assume Aquaman's suit would kind of feel like. And I'm going to be honest, I actually haven't watched Aquaman yet, which might be surprising, but I just haven't got around to it. I know it's a longer film, so I don't really want to, I have to be in the mindset for it, and with the hype of the Snyder cut, I would definitely consider watching it soon because I am pretty excited about that. But for now, it's not really something that I have too much of an interest in watching. Like, I know I wanted it in my collection to kind of help complete my DCEU collection, but yeah, there is Aquaman. And actually, while we're at it, it says it includes an exclusive sneak peek at Shazam. Shazam is actually one of the films I do not own yet in my DCEU collection. It's one of the holes in that collection. So I'll share my thoughts quickly because I have seen that film. I think it's actually really good. It's a very fun film, I would say, and I think that Zachary Levi does a great job, but I just haven't picked it up in my collection yet, but hopefully I'll be able to one day. Okay, now we've got Aquaman here on 4K, and I know you're probably like, okay, you haven't even seen Aquaman, why do you own two copies? And it's because I'm crazy. But basically, I own two copies because my mom actually picked me up the Blu-ray, and then I saw the 4K on eBay for a really great deal. I think it was somewhere around like 15 bucks, and I was like, you know what, I might as well pick it up just to kind of future-proof my collection, and I think Aquaman's a film that will probably look stunning in 4K. So just a really nice cover here as well. I really love that, featuring Jason Momoa, and I like the glossy finish on this one. I do like the matte finish on the other one, but I do kind of tend to prefer glossy finishes, so I'm glad that I was able to add this to my collection. But yeah, there is Aquaman. Alright, now we've got the final film here in my DCEU collection, and it is Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. And this is, of course, the newest release in the DC Extended Universe, and I think that this film was actually a good time. I really enjoyed it. I thought that Margot Robbie did a great job as Harley Quinn, and then the supporting cast as well did a really fantastic job. I thought Huntress really stood out among them, and I thought that Ewan McGregor did a good job as well. I think that he definitely portrayed a unique version of Black Mask in this universe here, and I feel like that's good to kind of switch it up a bit and kind of contribute more to the comedic side of this film, because it's definitely not like the darkest toned DC movie. I think they're kind of moving away from that, and I think they did a great job with this one. And just commenting on the slipcover here, it looks amazing. Now I do hope that I'll be able to eventually pick up the 4K version of this one, because that also has a fantastic alternate slipcover, but for now, owning this one in my collection is good enough. And there is Birds of Prey. Alright, so that concludes my DC Extended Universe Blu-ray collection video here. Let me know what you think of some of these films. I know that a few of them are more controversial in the film community, so be sure to let me know your thoughts. And how many of these do you own in your collection? Do you feel like you have to be a completionist? Even though something like Suicide Squad, let's say, I would say most people don't really care for that film, but do you feel like it's necessary to own it in your collection? Because personally, I don't know if I'll ever really rewatch the film, but I still felt it was necessary to own a copy of it in my collection. So are you a completionist like that as well? And if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave it a like and also subscribe to the channel for future content. I would really appreciate the support, so thank you so much. I will see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.